What could make 9 experienced hikers tear their way out of a tent, barefoot, in the middle of a freezing Siberian night? Why were some of their bodies found with crushed ribs, but almost no external injuries? Why did investigators report strange orange skin, missing eyes, and traces of radiation on their clothes? And perhaps the most chilling question of all, what terrified them so badly that dying in the snow seemed safer than staying inside the tent? This is the mystery of the Dyatlov Pass Incident, a case so disturbing that even after more than 60 years, nobody agrees on what truly happened. January 1959. Deep inside the northern Ural Mountains of the former Soviet Union, a group of 9 young hikers began what should have been an ordinary expedition. They were not amateurs. These were highly experienced ski hikers, intelligent, disciplined, trained to survive brutal winter conditions. The leader of the group was 23-year-old engineering student Igor Dyatlov. The mountain they planned to cross had a dark name given by the local Mansi people, Koletsyakhl, which roughly translates to Mountain of the Dead. At the time, nobody thought much about the name. They should have. The group documented everything with cameras and journals, and at first, the trip looked normal. They laughed, took photographs, built campfires, wrote jokes in their diaries. But somewhere during the journey, something changed. One member became sick and turned back early. That single decision accidentally saved his life. The remaining 9 continued deeper into the mountains, directly toward the place where they would vanish forever. On February 1st, 1959, the group made camp on the exposed slope of Koletsyakhl. And that decision made no sense. Experienced hikers usually camp near tree lines for shelter from wind, but for some reason, they pitched their tent high on an open mountainside, directly exposed to the freezing storm. Then, sometime during the night, something happened. Something so terrifying that the hikers sliced open their own tent from the inside, not the entrance, the fabric itself. Imagine that for a second. These trained survival experts didn't calmly unzip the tent and leave. They panicked. Investigators later discovered footprints leading away from the tent, into the darkness. Some prints were barefoot. Some were made with socks only. In temperatures approaching minus 30 degrees Celsius, whatever happened inside that tent, it made them flee instantly. Weeks later, rescue teams finally located the abandoned campsite. What they found looked frozen in time. The tent was partially buried in snow. Inside were the hikers' boots, their food, their belongings. Everything they would need to survive was still there, which means they didn't leave voluntarily. They ran. The first bodies were discovered near a forest, beneath a cedar tree. The men had attempted to light a fire. Branches high above them were broken, suggesting someone had climbed the tree in desperation, maybe to look for the tent, or maybe to look for whatever was coming toward them. 2 bodies were found there, nearly naked, frozen to death. Then rescuers discovered 3 more bodies positioned between the tree and the campsite, including Igor Dyatlov himself. It looked as if they had tried to crawl back to the tent and never made it. But the real horror was still waiting beneath the snow. Months later, investigators uncovered the final 4 bodies hidden inside a ravine, and their injuries shocked everyone. One woman was missing her tongue. Another victim had devastating chest fractures. One had a crushed skull.
How did this happen?
And according to Soviet investigators, the force of the injuries resembled the impact of a car crash. Yet, strangely, there were almost no external wounds, no signs of a fight, no knife wounds, no obvious explanation. One investigator reportedly said, the injuries could not have been caused by another human being. Then came the rumors. Some rescuers claimed the bodies had unnatural orange skin. Others reported traces of radiation on certain clothing items, and several witnesses in the area described glowing orange spheres moving across the night sky around the same time the hikers disappeared. Suddenly, the theories exploded. Was it a secret Soviet military experiment? Some believe the hikers accidentally witnessed classified weapons testing and were silenced. Others think an avalanche forced them to escape the tent in panic. But critics point out something strange. There was no major avalanche damage at the campsite. And if it was just an avalanche, why were some victims found nearly a mile away? Then there's one of the most disturbing theories of all, infrasound, a phenomenon where certain wind conditions create low-frequency vibrations capable of triggering extreme fear, panic, even psychological breakdowns. Imagine hearing nothing, but suddenly,